Okay, so we'll go over stocks that we had on our watch list. One of the ones we had on here is the AUDC, and as I wrote about this last week, and it continues to surge higher. I mean, this is a great trade. It is a thin trader, though. It's only traded 181,000, 29 million in the float. I said on AUDC over 980, and there's lots of room. Targets are 11 and 12. So there was a good entry opportunity here when this pulled back to the 950. So I would look at this traded 950, but watch for maybe a move over 980, maybe 985, something like that. And but it's a strong chart. It's a very thin trader, though. That's the only thing. It might be better as a swing. The other one that I had on there this morning as well is this ADMA. And ADMA, I said, today the stock popped above 686, targets are 775. So it really just ended up being a stock to watch. It was on my stocks to watch list, and it's traded as high as 680. So it never really hit the target to trade. So we'll just, that's still on watch, but not a trade for us there today. CORV. Again, another very thin trader, only 96,000 traded today. I said on this, it has lateral, it needs volume to get over 480. So never got there, just still a stock to watch. It's not a trade for us on the CORV. ESND. ESND, I looked for a trade at 1775. So this was quite a ways away from it. It was just, again, just a stock to watch, and so no action on that one for us. On the short side, I had quite a few shorts last night on my watch list, and this one, ALNY, I said below 95.17. It came off yesterday hard, but here just trading. Let's have a look why I said this. You can see that it had this, it was in this consolidation base here, rolled over, sold off hard. I was looking for it to trade below this 95, and if it does, I had targets on this 87.50, which is down here, and then $80. So this has a long ways to go to the downside, this ALNY. I might put a swing out on that, actually. The next one that I had is this DQ, and this actually turned out to be a good trade here for us today on the short side. A move to the downside below 36, and I said my targets are 32 and 27. So this is again, you had this ugly chart, came off really hard, been consolidating in here, but looking to trade lower. I said trade this below 36 today for a day trade. This which was in here, and it did trade down as low as 34.5. So it did have a $1.50 move in it from here. You can see it started off, popped to 36.50, came off, double bottomed here, rolled up to the resistance level at 36. Tried to get through it several times, but failed, and then rolled over and traded then down to 34.57. So a nice trade there for us on the DQ on the short side today from the watch list. Another one from the watch list, EDIT. EDIT, it broke the neckline at 30.50. I said below 29. It never really got there today. It stayed up above it. So just it was a stock to watch. No trades there on the EDIT, but it's still on watch. I like that one as a short. RHT. RHT, I said watch for bounce back to 145 to take a position. Yeah, so it did trade up to never traded that high. But this is a stock that I've been talking about shorting for a while here, and this when it broke this trend line here, I said go short below 145, and it traded as low as 136. So it had a $10 move in it, $9 move in it. Now having an inside day on low volume, this thing will probably go lower again. But watch for perhaps a move back up to this 145 level to get another short entry. And here's your, it's the one. This is 120, 130, and then 120. So this stock's got a lot of downside to it. Red Hat. When it broke below this 145, that was the short. I had talked about that last week. And since then it's dropped $10. But today, no possibility for an entry for us. Now here's a stock, SBUX, Starbucks. The great thing about going to Starbucks, you can go to a Starbucks anywhere in the world, and you'll get exactly the same mediocre coffee as you do everywhere else at a Starbucks. But it'll be the same. It's in this bear flag. It came in this big distribution, huge distribution, sells off, spikes down, forms this bear flag, gets up to resistance at the 53 area. It's in this channel, but watch for it to break below this channel. If it does, my targets on Starbucks is 47 and then 44. I mean, you can only sell mediocre coffee at a high price for so long, and then it's gonna come to an end. Especially with so many niche coffee spots and Timmy Ho's knocking at your door. For those that are unfamiliar with Timmy Ho's that aren't Canadian, that's Tim Hortons, the double-double. Starbucks is a problem. I guess they got to expand their business. SGH in here, I said break below 30, look for 27. So I never broke below 30 yet, so it's just a stock to watch. But look at this chart; it's ugly. This big, it has these spikes down, spike down, bear flag. This breaks below this 30. Look for it to go, as I said, 27 and 23 are my targets on the SGH. TLRD is a stock we're short from 26.20. Just continues to drift lower. 2038 today. I said on this, it's broken below the $21 support. It's in this downtrending channel. When it broke below 21 here, it's going lower. The target is 19. His next target 19 and 18 for TLRD. So you can, if this trades maybe up, bounces to the top of this channel, look to go short, or maybe even a trade, below 20 for a scalp to 19, or not really a scalp, just a trade. That's our short from $26. And then the UCTT. UCTT, I said, which is below 13. Okay, so I said below 13. So again, just a stock to watch. Just hasn't traded there yet, but look at it. It's starting to roll over. A bit of an update today, but if this stock trades below 13, looks, to add to it, or perhaps a bounce into 15 area. Yeah, 15.50. If this bounce, you could look to short it there, or if it rolls over and trades below 13, look for a trade to 11. So that's the stocks I had on stock to watch. The other one that we did was a nice trade we called pre-market, CGNX, I think it is. I just undershot the targets on this, that's all. This huge spike up in here pre-market. I gave it targets of I think I gave targets of 51 and 52 from 49. Yeah, I think it was 51 and 52, and it did trade up as high as 54.50, and then just coiled sideways all day. But good opportunity. I mean, on this pullback into here in the 50 range, 50.35, still would have been a good trade as it ground its way back up to 53.5. But this had a nice pop on earnings this morning. Would have been tough to catch, there's no doubt, but I had 51 and 52 as targets, traded to 54.5. We also traded this MBI for a grind at when it broke out of this level here at 15.20. I put 10.20. I put targets of 10.50 and 11. Got up as high as 10.46. So, I mean, not a big move, 30 cents, but it's still, I guess, a profit is a profit on these. And that's really about it. We did talk about shorting ATLC. On this big pop-up, I didn't have any shares to short. And you can see that this is it's a thin float. It would only normally trade at 7.6. It's traded 8 million today. So one day wonder. I mean, if you had been able to find stock to short and were able to get it off, it would have been a good trade for you. That was one Sonny had been talking about, and I know a few guys caught it, so that's good. This is another chart that I was talking about as well in the pre-market. I said this is that. One moment, please. This is a chart pattern that I've been talking about a lot, and I've already mentioned here several times. But you get this pre-market spike up, and then it just drifts away all day. You get shorted in these top areas here. It usually spikes down at the opening, which it did here today. Bounced back up to support resistance, right in here at 420. Could have shorted it again, and then it came off to 360. So that was a solid dollar move in here on this stock. That would have been a great short trade there today on this one, which I had been talking about pre-market. And that's the recap of the recap for today. I'm just